So this is a very highly motivated army, but it isn't professional in the same way that Hannibal's army is. The idea is the Romans should feed troops in, one line after the next, keep on reinforcing the fighting line, and in the end you'll break through.
It's a big meat grinder.
It is, yeah.
They're not going to be able to move very quickly, I wouldn't have thought. They're fairly heavy in terms of the armament that they've got there.
But Cliff's underestimated Roman mobility. A Roman cavalry troop has spotted the team's scouts exposed in the centre and is riding towards them at speed. First blood has gone to the Romans.
We might have lost the scouts.
You've lost the scouts? What happened, Claire?
They got charged by some horses.
Their surviving scouts beat a hasty retreat. The team have run out of time to spy on the Romans. Can they pool their existing intelligence to come up with a winning strategy? Two mighty empires, only one can win. Will the team agree on a coherent strategy and coordinate their multinational force against the largest army that Rome has ever assembled? Will Cliff share the command with his fellow general Sarah? And will the lieutenants respond to their orders? And how will our historical experts assess the team's command of Hannibal's troops? By deploying their skilled and disciplined cavalry on both flanks, the generals hope to entice the weaker Roman horsemen away from the middle. This will allow their foot soldiers, led by the fierce Gallic infantry, to charge the Roman legions in the centre. Meanwhile, the team's key troops, the Libyan pikemen, will be placed in reserve. The team's strategy depends on splitting the Roman army, but have the generals given enough thought to the critical follow-through?
The trees on the right-hand side, we need them to be to the right, but no further forward of those trees.
He's got a clear idea of what he's going to use his cavalry for.
And in reality, Hannibal doesn't just want a victory, he wants an overwhelming victory.
So in order to make it worth his while to fight at all, Hannibal, or our team, has really got to conduct a massacre.
They're moving.
Yep. Cliff. They're moving. Ah, they're coming on.
Tired of waiting, the impetuous General Varro forces the battle. The largest Roman army in history begins to advance on Hannibal's outnumbered troops.
That's quite a frightening force coming out. It is.
"76,000 furious citizens of Rome are set on revenge."
Oh, here they come. Here comes the freight train. The Romans are just rolling forward with that heavy inevitability. Oh, look at them come.
Cliff is relying on the weather to slow down the Roman advance. But the Romans are marching at a steady pace, conserving their energy for the battle to come.
It's the infantry that's going to win.
The infantry are like a machine. You get them going, and the heavy infantry will just go grinding on ahead. Whereas the cavalry require a bit more judgment.
The cavalry are just there to protect their flanks for long enough to allow them to win.
Falling for the team's bait, the Roman horsemen split from their flanks and race to engage with Hannibal's cavalry. Everything is going according to the team's plan, and the first engagement of the new Battle of Cannae is about to begin.
Re-engage.
To Cliff's delight, it's all falling into place.
There are a lot of dead Roman horses on the field.
The Numidians have been doing their stuff.
After a brilliant tactical triumph on the left, Cliff's attention shifts to his right flank. The Numidian horsemen more than hold their own against the Romans. The team have made a great start, successfully neutralizing any threat from the Roman cavalry. Claire's got her horses well under control. The Carthaginian invaders have shocked Rome with a decisive early blow on the flanks. Now, on the right, the team's key troops, the seasoned veterans of the Spanish heavy cavalry, butcher the remaining Roman horse, leaving their agile comrades, the Numidians, to chase off the Roman stragglers. But all the while, the Roman infantry are continuing their inexorable advance. But, flushed with his early success, General Cliff has missed the first group of Roman infantry approaching through the trees. They threaten to outflank his central units and launch an attack from behind.
If you look at the Carthaginian army, it's thin.
That's it. If the Romans hit this line, they'll eventually eat through it, and then what's to stop them?
That's right. Hannibal knew that the Romans were going to come through. Hannibal figured out what he wanted to do when the Romans come through. Cliff is not clear on what he's going to do when that big Roman juggernaut crushes its way through his thin line.
Well, potentially, I think we've got more troops on the left-hand side.
Yes, and we have a problem on the right. And we have a problem on the right in terms of the cavalry.
But Cliff still hasn't spotted the Roman infantry ambush on his right. And now his pikemen are under attack from the rear.
Pikemen are devastating from the front, but if you can get around the side, then they've had it, because they can't swing around quickly with a 21-foot pike, or you can, but you're going to knock down all the colleagues next to you, and they're not going to be very happy bunnies either.
That bunch of Libyans are they're going to die heroically,
but they will die.
They're all going to die
because they've got nothing to support them.
With his ambushed Libyan pikemen besieged on the right, Cliff's central forces now face the onslaught of the bulk of the Roman army. Wave upon wave of Roman legions are advancing relentlessly towards Hannibal's outnumbered troops. The generals thrust their bravest warriors, the fearsome Gallic infantry, at the Roman front line. And still the Romans keep coming. Cliff seems to have no strategy to press home his advantage.
These are the Libyans here.
This is what we have in reserve still.
That's the general there.
Yep, but there, just in front of the general, are the Libyans there.
Which we need to start moving, I would say, because we mustn't lose our general. That'd be a disaster.
While Sarah worries about Hannibal's safety, the Roman generals are also leading their army from the front. Fighting alongside their troops, they crave revenge as much as their comrades.
You've got Paulus, I think, there, who's actually fighting in the...
personally hacking
combat.
away.
Yep.
And there he is fighting hand-to-hand with his red cloak on. That's how you can tell he's a general.
And he's doing it with great gusto at the moment.
And there are a lot of dead Carthaginians on this battlefield.
They're actually drawing us off to the left slightly there. And I'm not sure where they're going. I would stop and bring them back.
They're running away. They've got a lot to do with me.
Right, stop them then.
But Cliff is powerless to stop his runaway troops. Losses on the battlefield are taking their toll. And General Cliff can do nothing but watch.
There's people literally deserting.